Hello and welcome to week 2 of AC1110 Accounting Fundamentals. Remember that the contact information will be down here with the phone number and the email address. Feel free to contact those if you have any questions. We also have the office hours down here. It will be located at a different number, which is a call-in number, a conference number, so multiple people could call into the same line and enter with the conference code, which is the 1111. These are just going to be a question and answer. They are not mandatory, so if you can't make that, that's okay. If you don't have any questions, you don't have to go there, but these are some areas where we're going to carve out some time to answer questions at that time. We also have the URL address, which is an online site that we can then see my screen and we can work through some problems if we so choose. If there's no questions, then it'll be basically a blank site there. But if there are questions on anything, then we can go through and do some calculations together using that format. I do suggest using software like that with other students if you so choose by finding each other on the participants up here. And once you contact each other, you could think about using software such as Skype. And we usually think of Skype as having a video connection, but really it has a screen share software, so we could just see, like an Excel sheet as well and just work through problems on that. There's also a joinme.com that you could try to contact each other and do some kind of screen share and look at that with each other. So those are some things to look into. There's more types of software than that as well. Going to go back to Moodle Rooms here. Also note that if any links are running slow, most of the links in here that are going to video are, whether they be an Excel sheet or in Moodle Rooms, are generally going to this website. So you could try going here directly by going to this area and then going to Charter and then going to Accounting Fundamentals, and most of the information, these are hyperlinks, will be on this page. It could take a little bit to load because there are a lot of videos on this particular page, but it should load up and be okay. Now I'm going to go back to Moodle Rooms. If that is taking a while, then you could also try the YouTube as well, trying to put it on there as well and organize that. So if you scroll down here and you go into the AC1110, that'll give you a playlist on YouTube as well. That might work better on a phone or tablet if you're moving around or mobile. So that could be something to use as well. Going to go back up to the top. Going to scroll down to the current week that we are in. We're in week 2 at this time. Let's see what is in week 2. So we have the objectives, we have the topics. I'll let you go through those. We're going to go through the lessons. We're going to go through chapter 2, which we started last time, and continuing on chapter 2. That's the main chapter we want to focus on in this area. It's probably the main chapter of this entire course in terms of debits and credits. And then we'll go on to chapter 3 and start that. We will continue on chapter 3 in week 3 as well. So here's your resources. These are going to be video links that you can take a look at some of the lectures. And some of them will be repeated from the prior week, and I highly recommend just repeating them because you want to go over some of those core concepts. Those will repeat through the entire course. They'll repeat through the entire accounting classes. So just keep on going through those and see if those concepts are being more and more understood from week to week. Then we're going to have the actual assignments down here. Remember that this is where you want to check off that you have the assignments done. Most of your work will be done in McGraw-Hill Connect up here, but this area is where you want to basically check off and just, you could print it out and just check off, okay, we did this, we did this, we did this by Sunday. So we have the discussion forums. You want to do those, check them off. We got the assignments. There's going to be 2 of them. One's in Connect, one's in Moodle Rooms. This one needs to be turned in here into Moodle Rooms. And then we've got the quiz. You can check that off. And the homework's down here. We can check these off as we do them, even though they will be in Connect. Now, the first thing we have is the discussion forums. We should be getting used to those after going through week 1. Remember that the discussion forums are worth 21% of the grade. I'm going to take a look at that on the syllabi down here. 21% of the grade is huge. How should we attack or approach these types of classes? My suggestion, get full credit on the discussion forums because they're the most subjective to do. It's just participation. You can't really get them wrong as long as the participation is there. Get as much of the credit as you can on the assignments and homework. Even if we can't get full credit, reason being is because the resources are there to get a lot of points. If you use the resources, you can pick up a lot of points even if we don't get full credit on them. And then go into the quizzes, midterm, and final, which is with as big of a cushion as possible in case we don't do as well as we hope on those. So you want to do as well as you can, of course, but if we pick up all the points here and most of the points here, then we'll have a really good approach and be going into the quizzes looking fairly well. All right, so going back into the Moodle Rooms, what do we need to do to get full credit on the discussion forums? breaking this down, basically we need a minimum of 4 posts. For sure, I would post more than 4 posts. 4 posts would be very good posts, and if we have less than great posts, then we need to post more of them. So the discussion forums are going to be a bit different than other types of grading in that the grades just go up. You can't post something and get a bad grade on it. All you can do is get more points on it. So basically, if you post more, then you're more likely to pick up more points. If you post something that doesn't add a lot of content to the discussion, it may not get any points, but you're not going to really lose any points on it. In order to get the most points on any single post, just remember to add content. It's got to add to the discussion, add more content within the discussion, whether that be an added question that's going to be in the discussion or added materials. You can go on and talk about different subjects or topics related to a subject topic that is being asked. Also, if you copy and paste anything from Google or some other website, then just make sure you reference where you copied and pasted it from. Therefore, then it would not be plagiarism to copy and paste it, but it also isn't a great post unless you paraphrase it. So you really want to, if you take a source from somewhere else, make sure you reference it and then paraphrase it in your own words, and that would be a good acceptable post as well. So the assignments will be down here. We've got one in Connect and one in Moodle Room. So the one in Connect, if you scroll up here into the Connect, of course, it will be in here. We will be in week 2. So I'm going to hit the drop down. In week 2, the assignment is generally the larger assignment here. So this is the larger assignment. And remember that there's a paperclip with it. So this paperclip will have a video. It'll have an example problem. So although this assignment is quite long, if you follow the format that is on the example problem within this paperclip, you can pick up a lot of points just from formatting it in that way. We want to have a larger problem because that gives you more of the full view of everything that's going on, but we also want to give you the resources to get through that problem, and you can pick up a lot of points, but make sure that you take a look at the paperclip, which includes an example problem in the video, in order to work this larger problem. I'm going to go back up to Moodle, scroll on down, the Moodle Rooms problem. If you click on here, you will find the Moodle Rooms here. You're going to download that. Then there'll be a submit button right there. That's where you want to submit this particular problem. If you did not submit week 1's problem here, and you submitted it into Connect, then come back here and submit it into here, and I'll give you full credit on that. I'm going to go back up to the cookie trail, scrolling back over here. Here's what I call the cookie trail. We're going to go from January. This is the 2nd week. I'm going to scroll down to that week, and we are now looking at the quiz. Obviously, I would do that last, but here's the 2 Connect problems. You want to do those. Once again, they're going to be within Connect. And those will be the Learn Smarts. So make sure to take care of the Learn Smarts. Pick those up. Remember, there should only be like 25 questions. Once you're done with it, it will allow you to go back in there and pick up more questions. But if the thing starts to say there's 90 questions in it, it's probably because you've already completed the 25. And now you're going back in there after it's been completed. So check the Gradebook within Connect. It should say that it's been completed. And then you can go out in there and practice if you so choose, because it really is good practice to help for the quiz to work those problems. I'm going to go back to the Moodle Rooms. Then, of course, take the quiz. Make sure to take the quiz by Sunday. The quizzes cannot generally be made up. They're multiple choice questions. Even if you're not prepared for the quiz, make sure you take it. Any points on the quiz, even if you got like a 10%, it's going to be better than a 0 on it. So make sure to take those by Sunday. I'm going to take a look at the Gradebook up here. I'm going to scroll up. Moodle Rooms is the Gradebook. So this is the Gradebook that the grades will ultimately be entered into. So I'm going to scroll into here. Now, what's going to happen is it's your job to basically put everything into Moodle Rooms throughout the week, and then the grades will be fully updated the Monday and the Tuesday following the weekend. So week 1 ended on Sunday. I have until Tuesdays to update the grades from Moodle Rooms and Connect into your Gradebook here. So once you go into this Gradebook, as of Tuesday, then you want to verify that what you have already checked off, and so doing throughout the week, is reflected accurately in the Gradebook here. If you have any questions on it at that time, then contact me as soon as we can, and we can take a look at any discrepancies that could be there. So for example, the discussion forum, this dash will then turn into a grade if we have done it, or a 0 if we have not done it, and then it'll populate the information here. So as long as it's a dash, hasn't been graded yet. Then the quiz, same thing, it'll turn into a grade or a 0 if we haven't done it. And the assignment, same thing, of course it'll turn into a grade or a 0 if we haven't done it. Note that the assignment and much of the work except for the quizzes, we can usually do some late work after the due date, although we could lose points for late work. However, the quiz, for the most part, cannot be made up unless there's an unusual circumstance, generally for charter college policy. Therefore, make sure to do the quiz by Sunday, and if you have to pick up some late work on the assignments and the homework, then pick up the late work. Anything that you see zeros on the gradebook on after Tuesday, then pick up that work or look into being able to pick up the work. Then, of course, in the current week for week 2, your job is to go through Moodle rooms, check everything off as you go, and then I will enter the grades plus any late work the following by the following Tuesday after week 2 has closed on Sunday. And that's how we'll move forward throughout the weeks here. All right, so that's going to be it for week 2. Have a great week 2.